What's up, everyone? Welcome here to Brothers Forge Gaming, and boy do we got a good one for you today. As you can see here, got some different wrestlers out. We're going to be taking a look at some of this different stuff, but really what you're coming here for is the unboxing. And I'm going to give it to you as to why these are so amazing, especially for what we're trying to do here, what we're doing with collecting figures, our stop motion, our wrestling stuff we've been doing. If you guys have been tuning into that, you know, we appreciate the views, the comments, the support there. If you haven't had a chance to check it out, go do so. It's in our WWE Universe playlist, Portrayed in Plastic. We got a whole playlist right there on our main page. Make sure to check it out. We're definitely be doing more with that here in the near future. We were able to get in on a Kickstarter that happened about, I don't know, 6 months ago, but this summer we're supposed to be getting that, so it's going to be pretty cool. Full-size ring, LED entrance, special bonus figures. It was awesome. It was a Kickstarter with levels. Man, that thing was cool. So that was a good time, and man, I look forward to doing another one of those hopefully in the future. But like I said, today we're going to be getting into these figures here, and actually have another bonus one over there. I wasn't really sure what to do with it, but I've made up my mind, and now we're going to be doing the unboxing video. Okay, so if you're like us, you grew up in the 80s, the 90s, and you had access to all sorts of fun toys. Some of the best toys, some of the most collectible toys people are after even today are the toys, G.I. Joes, Transformers, Voltrons, Ninja Turtles, all that cool action stuff from those awesome cartoons in the 80s and 90s. You know, those are really hot toys, great to be, fun to collect, it's just so cool. Now, we grew up with those. If you remember the wrestling figures from back then, they were a lot smaller. They weren't very posable, but they were so much fun. Man, you'd slam them in the rings, and we had so much fun with those. Unfortunately, as it goes with a lot of our stuff from our childhoods, we discard it, we donate it, we throw it away, we break it. Whatever happens to it, we don't usually end up carrying it with us into our adult lives. But check us out now. You know, we're regaining our lost youth here with our video games and now wrestlers. If you guys haven't had a chance to check them out, there's all these really cool wrestlers Mattel is putting out now. They're super posable. You've got different levels of guys. You've got basic guys. Here's Undertaker. I think he's still considered a basic, but he's almost like a mid between basic elite. He came with the Wreck-'em motorcycle, which is pretty cool. If you guys did an unboxing on that, if you want to check it out. But yeah, he's got a little bit more detail. You can pose these guys. But yeah, compared to our figures of what we had when we were growing up, these guys are just so fun and cool to do videos with, and a lot of them have different stuff. So some of them don't bend at the knee joint; they're stiff-legged, and I'll show you that. So you know, kind of as you go up in price, and you know, you have your basic, your elite, your ultimate. As you can see here, the ultimate Hulk Hogan comes with more stuff, and then most of these are elites. And then I've got some basics. Actually, I'll be doing some more unboxings on those basics in the near future here, so take a look at that. This one is a basic, actually. It's a Ronda Rousey basic, but as you can see here, the way that the hip joints bend and stuff, you've got different motion you can do. So that's actually, if you're trying to do like high flyer guys and different stuff, it's cool to have and be able to pose these with the ball joint arms. What's funny is we were talking about the, you know, like the G.I. Joe toys and stuff of old. A lot of these still use some of that same kind of hook and rubber band mechanics, where those ball joints, like in the middle piece here, it's connected by those ball joints, if you remember, you know, like the, you know what I'm talking about. But anyway, this is Drew McIntyre. He's a basic. So as you can see, unlike the Undertaker, his knees, maybe if I ripped the knee pads off, they'd bend. I'm not sure, but I'm not going to do that. But basically, he's got less movement ranges, but he is super detailed for a basic. Even his back, and again, I've done unboxings on all these guys. Even his back, like his trunks, he's got a lot of detail there. I believe there was a Drew McIntyre that came with a sword. I should have bought it, but I had just picked this guy up, and I was like, I should have frickin' bought that. His Claymore, man. Yeah, so that's pretty cool. I like this AJ Styles. He's a basic, but again, he has a little more detail. He's got full pants. He's got gloves. He's got a lot of different stuff, but again, with the leg moving, I might have to take the knee pads off to bend him, but just as a basic, having him in the crowd or doing some high flyer stuff with these guys, these basics are really fun. And if you look over here, if you can see them, I'm not sure, I got the Roman Reigns and the Jerry the King Lawler Elites. They're a little more posable, like I was showing you with some of the other guys there. In a way, though, that's almost the downside, because they're almost too posable sometimes if you're wrestling with them, because they get loose and then they won't hold up. Like my Stone Cold, he almost basically got destroyed because we were wrestling with him so much. But he can do a couple poses still. But so be aware of that. If you do a lot of banging around, sometimes that's why it's good to have the basics to do the wrestling with. You know, make the guys fight. Yeah, make the guys right. Ah, here comes the big leg. Ah, you know, vintage big boot, whatever. Have them do that. Have your basics for that. More fun things there, and then keep your nicer figures for posing and doing those close-up shots with and doing the promos and things. I don't know, whichever way you want to do it. Now we've got figures. Now we're trying to pose them. We're trying to wrestle. We're trying to do all this stuff with them. On a perfect flat surface, these guys stand up pretty good, but not all of them. Some of them are weighted different. You know, they're not gonna stand up all that great. They might fall over, kind of thing, right? So the solution to that problem lies in these packages here. And again, these are the older ones. These are still, you see the WWF logo. These are older figures with the WWF, which is super cool, which makes them really neat to try to find and collect. You can get some, they're not like super rare, but get them while you can, because anything that's WWF, obviously, for rarity reasons, is going to be something you want to get your hands on if you like the old wrestling. But as you can see in here, there's a plate, a stand plate on here. I don't know how well these things work. I'm going to assume amazing, and that's why I got these. I didn't much care for the figure because, as I said, we've moved on to some of these more detailed figures. They're different heights and stuff, but I figured Sable and Sunny can work great as managers, or ringside, or doing their own wrestling or whatever it is we'll do with those. It'll be different, so they don't necessarily have to be the same height and builds and things like that as some of the other wrestlers. So these will work great. As opposed to trying to get some of the other big name guys. If you look on the back here, these are so amazing. I don't hope you guys can see that. I mean, this is what made toy collecting so fun. Well, I guess as a kid you're not a toy collector, you just love toys. So, but as an adult going back and looking at this, there's some stuff on there. There's some guys I don't even remember. I don't remember Blackjack Bradshaw. I wonder if that is Bradshaw, and Blackjack Wyndham. I don't remember those guys. Of course, Hawk and Animal, Thrash and Mosh. I don't remember these other guys in the overalls. Henry Goodwin and Phineas Goodwin. And of course you got Stone Cold, Rocky Maivia before he's The Rock, Flash Funk, Ken Shamrock, Savio Vega, Psycho Sid, and I got Sonny, Vince McMahon as the announcer, which would be cool to have. A referee, classic referee and stuff. So that's really fun on there. It's the same guys on the back of this one. And what's neat about these Bone Crunch action ones, you can actually wrench on them and they make a little crunching sound. So the figures themselves are neat in that way as well. But like I said, mostly I got these for the plates. So if you guys want to stick around, and I'm going to unbox these and kind of show you a little bit closer look on those. And then as a bonus, like I said, I wasn't really sure what to do with this guy right here. It's a double pack, it's a double Sable, so I'll have an extra Sable. I actually like this Sable a little better, so I'm probably going to hang on to this one. The dress sparkles a little more. Or maybe I'll just keep both so I can switch them out. And they do look pretty similar, but realistically, it'd be hard to tell unless you were super close to him. Then Mark Merck, what the hell's his name? Mark Marrow. He'll be kind of cool. I might use him as an announcer or use him for random stuff throughout the thing. So ultimately, like I said, I was maybe going to try to sell this one to recoup my costs on these. They weren't terribly expensive, but more than I necessarily wanted to pay when I was already kind of collecting these. But I came across them in a thrift or antique store. Couldn't pass them up. Complete in box. I mean, not sealed, not even open. But take a look at the back of this one. There's some awesome guys on here. I didn't even remember Paul Bearer being with Mankind. I don't remember him being his manager. I thought he was with Kane for a while after The Undertaker, but yeah, I must have not been watching wrestling during that time. But you also have Bob Buckland, of course. This one here, you have Crush and Clarence Mason, which I think is Teddy. It looks like Teddy. Let me tell you something, player. Right, whatever he said. Farouk, of course, Jerry the King, some of those other guys. Vader, what time is it? It's time for the pain game. Hunter Hearst Helmsley before he was Triple H. But he looking more like his original, what was that, like his like Pilgrim character, whatever the hell the name of that character was. I can't remember. But what's awesome about this, and I would love to get this, and what's cool about this is Jack Specific. So there's actually an interesting story with if you guys are familiar with the N64 wrestling games, thought by many to be the greatest wrestling games of all time, the Nintendo 64. You've got World Tour, you've got Revenge, you've got WrestleMania 2000, No Mercy, and there's some other ones, but those are the main ones. Obviously, No Mercy, is the main one that everybody loves. We enjoy WrestleMania 2000 for some various reasons. They're both great. But there's an interesting story with that, with the game, I think it's called Backlash, that was supposed to come out. It was going to be the 5th game in this THQ AKI series. What brings me to this interesting point with Jack Specific is that because of licensing reasons and other things, we were supposed to get a 5th game. Yes, there are other games on 64, other wrestling games on 64, but this is the THQ AKI version of wrestling games, the greatest of all time, right? But because of these darn licensing and other contracts, and what was thought of to be because McMahon owned stock in Jakks Pacific, they actually cut ties with THQ and AKI to produce their, so that they could get the license for Jakks Pacific to make their toys. So for similar reasons as to why we saw a delay in the early great Star Wars movies over darn toys and toy lines, okay? Obviously there's a lot of money to be made with this stuff, and as a business you're wanting to make money, but it's just unfortunate to think that, because of certain things like that, we maybe missed out on some of the greatest things that never were or could have been, right? So, like I said, we could have got a fifth game in the line on the Nintendo 64. I want to say it was Backlash was going to be the thing. They have it fleshed out. I believe there's actually like a modding community that's working on the game, and there is a playable like demo version of the game if you know where to look. So if you guys are interested in that, check it out. There's a really good video on YouTube talking about that whole thing, kind of what I was just talking about within that video. I can't remember who posted it, but check it out. Look up Backlash Nintendo 64 on YouTube. Maybe you'll find it. But yeah, to me that's killer because it could have been the best game in the series. Oh man, who knows? Who knows? Anyway, we got some great games on the 64 with wrestling, and yeah. So, but what's cool about this, and what I would love to get my hands on, is this right here. This ring right here looks so cool, man. It is the official World Wrestling Federation Monster Ring, and this is with the bone crunching action. This has super elastic ring ropes that launch your wrestlers into action. This just looks like so much fun. Some kind of rumble feature. Stage your very own WrestleMania in Jakks Pacific amazing mini ring featuring highly detailed posable 3-inch figures. Turnbuckle launching action and official ringside bell to begin each round. Now that is pretty cool. There's a railing, there's a staircase. The rings are pretty small, smaller than the ones they're doing now. Apparently the figures are a lot smaller, and that's kind of what I was talking about. The figures were smaller, they weren't as detailed. Yeah, they were super cool, and all you needed as a kid especially, you didn't need detail, you just needed the guys. And you use your imagination, you have a great time. But again, it is nice that they're making these really detailed toys now. And are they really toys for kids, or are they toys for us? That's what you got to ask yourself. I'm pretty sure they're making them for us. Okay, kids that love wrestling and want to buy all this stuff now. And yes, we do unbox these. So if you guys want to see unboxings of this stuff, we're going to be working on that over time. So we got a lot to get through. It's just one of those things where this is actually a really insane market. If you're trying to collect, you can't just walk into the store and buy this stuff. It sells out quick. If you're not on early order, pre-launch, you're not on lists to get information when this stuff is coming out, you're probably not getting it. So most of the time you want to pick these up if you see them, if it's a wrestler you like, or hey, maybe even not a wrestler you like, but something you would want to use or trade for something you do want, grab them up. So anyway, you just end up with a ton of this stuff. If you're trying to get the one guy you want, you can't get him, so you buy the other three that are there because, hey, maybe someday you can trade. Like I said. Anyway, we're going to get into the unboxing of these coming up right now. Okay, but first, one quick thing. Now, as you saw, like I talked about the plates in here, before I found these, before I happened across these at the antique store, as I mentioned, I found these wrestlers. Let me see, we got the Rock and Triple H right here. Now, what you would see in here, these aren't bad. These are $20 usually, maybe a little less if you can find them for less. But they come with two basics, so basics are usually about $10. I believe the prices have gone up a little bit, a couple dollars across the board from basic up. We were paying $19.99 for the elites, and I think they're $21.99 now, something like that. So there is a price increase already. So not a bad investment if you guys are looking to invest and you don't really want to mess with them. Just leave them in the boxes, put them in a box, seal it up. So who knows? You might be able to make some money on these if you got time and money. Hey. Think about it. Plus, they're just cool. It's fun. It's the hunt, and we talk about this in game collecting and stuff too. The hunt, the thrill of the chase. The hunt is some of the best fun you're going to have game collecting. Not just getting to play the games as well, and then making videos for YouTube. Hey, but yeah. Okay. So what you see are these plates here. These ones are unique in the fact that they go inside. If you have one of the belts, they actually click into the belt. I've been meaning to actually pick one of these belts up. I have a couple belts here, but these are older ones. They're kids belts. They're replica kids belts. You can get adult size ones, but they're a little bit more. And really, I just wanted them for just for fun and flavor, right? So anyway, it's fun. It tells you a career moment time on there too. A little synopsis for you. Not too terrible, but it is a great way, as you can see it showcasing there. It's a great way to stand up your figures. And originally, I found these and I grabbed them because I was like, oh, these plates will be super cool. But the downside of them is that if you're using a figure that isn't specifically for that, it's whatever. It's good and bad, but at least you can stand up your guys and show them off that way. Maybe you don't show their feet if you're using the giant on Triple H's ring or whatever, but that aside, you know, if you're not concerned with that, no big deal. I wouldn't really care that much personally. But then I came across, like I said, I came across these, and I just had to scoop them up. I looked online to see if you could find just the plates, because people probably opened these and either tossed the figures or tossed the plates or whatever they did. Maybe people had come across the plates. You can find them, but they're about $15 a plate. You can actually order the figures generally in box for about that same price, maybe a little more. So you may as well just get the figures, at least for now. And that's just what I looked at. I don't know, maybe you can find those plates dirt cheap. But you know how it is with used stuff, sometimes they get dinged up, whatnot. These are going to be scratch free, they're going to be perfect for what I want to do, and well worth it. Alright, on to the part you've all been waiting for. Let's open these up, take a look, see this in a little closer, more detail. Now, something that I'm probably going to regret is opening these toys from like 30 years ago that are sealed. The boxes are in pretty darn good shape. You never know, these could be the things that are worth hundreds of dollars down the road. It could be an investment for my kids. But you know what? We're going to have more fun playing with these things right now, and you're going to get the value in fun right there, because who can put a value on fun? I'm sure you can. It's probably pretty easy to do. But hey, forget about that. Let's crack this open. Let's take a look. I'm kind of wanting to save the back of these packages, but I just love that stuff on there. But we got a good shot of them here on the video. I'll take a couple pictures of the back and probably include them on the thumbnail maybe on that. So we'll have a better look at that. But let's go. Let's crack this open without further messing around. What is this? 97. Oh my gosh, almost 30 years coming up here in a few more years, so about 25 years. 25 years you have laid dormant in this package. Let's unleash you to the world and get you in some BFG portrayed in plastic videos. Make sure to stick here with Brothers Forge Gaming. Come on back, check us back, and see all that in action. But for now, let's open it up. Yeah! Ah! Oh my gosh! Oh, I ripped the back! Oh, I should have took a picture of that. Maybe I'll try to open the other one without ripping the back, huh? Okay, so we'll get to that plate, which I'm super excited about. But here we go. We got, oh man, yeah, much different than actually the figures I was just showing you guys a little earlier. Definitely different, but these, they're not posable. They don't bend, but they will. They don't stand up great, but again, you'll need the plate or a flatter surface. I have a covering on here that makes it not as flat as it wants to be. Hey, let's try it with the plate and see what happens. Now, I thought that these were bone-crunching action ones, but I guess it was just that other one, because there doesn't seem to be much bone-crunching action that's going to go on with this Sable right here. I'm definitely going to need to save this. Man, this is so old, I probably don't even remember when Sable looked like that. I just remember her from the crazy days. Anyway, so we'll try to open that other one up a little better. Throw that down there, but here we go. Oh man, did I already put a fingerprint on it? Well, I must have already put a fingerprint on it. Okay, here we go. These is a little lighter than I thought it was going to be. It looked a little heavier. I don't know why I thought that. Alright, so there you go. She can pose for all your picture needs, whatever you're trying to do with those, right here on your awesome WWF plate. And look at that. It's on there pretty good, right? So check that out. Sable with a lovely evening gown. I was thinking we could do evening gown matches, but you can't even. Oh hey, you can move the arms. Beep boop beep boop, I come for you. So, but yeah, you can't move anything else. So yeah, not terrible. So yeah, you got some arm movement. It's good, right? You could have her do a field goal. Cheerlead on the side. Okay, you got some decent detail. Nice, the texturing on the dress, not bad. The hair, the hair kind of moves a little bit if you want. Maybe I don't think you can't really turn the head. I'm not going to mess with it too much. But again, a closer look there. Here's a shot of the back. Okay. Let's take a look at Sunny. Now Sunny looks like we might actually be able to move her a little more. This one is not bone crunching action. You know, sometimes I'm wondering if people found a way to like reseal these. No, there's no way, because that other one had like fingerprints on it, but it just must be I got my fingerprint on it that easy. So be careful with those. Trying to save the back of this box so that I can take a picture of it. I should have done that before, right? Always record your stuff before you open it or film it or pictures, right? think I did a little better job with that one. Okay. I don't know, I guess they just have fingerprints on them, which is weird. Like maybe the people hand put them in the package or something. So we know what that is, the old WWF logo. I know a lot of people who watched wrestling at the time quit watching wrestling as soon as they changed the name. And, you know, I can agree with that. I can see where they're coming from with that. But unfortunately, sometimes we just have to take our medicine and like it, right? Whether we like it or not. Because you could miss out on so many great things. But, hey, I'm that way, too. I'm like, you did what? I can't enjoy this anymore because you changed one thing. You know? Because as you know, wrestling fans are some of the most enthusiastic, energetic fans out there, man. Fans can make or break the show, and y'all know. But yeah, I was able to take that, so I'm gonna get a picture of that. Actually, was able to keep that one in better tack, but I'm not gonna save that stuff. You know, you can get saving too many things, and I have trouble throwing anything away. So, like I said, I may hang on to those. These are kind of cool. They're on the front, but I'll probably toss those too, because you know you could put it here with that or something, and whatever. So we'll put it out. Let's see what Sunny is all about. Okay, so far, this is a little more weighty. This feels like if you've ever gotten a McDonald's Happy Meal toy, how there's just solid pieces, and they don't, you know, you're like, oh, okay, I have one over there somewhere I could show you. But you might know what I'm talking about. This actually feels more like an action figure. So we've got movable arms, and movable arms. I don't know if you can see that. Not as much detail. So on the gown, you know, you're getting a lot more detail with her gown, a little bit more detail with the hair. Very similar hair, but you know, this is basic, almost painted on, where this is obviously it's got texture and different things. Her dress though, her miniskirt, is rubber, more like you'd expect, or well, plastic, but it kind of feels like rubber, right? More like you'd expect on there. I don't know if you can take this off and do a bikini match with it or not, if you're into that. And then the boots feel more painted on as well. But you might be able to jimmy this off of here. I don't know if I'd mess with it though, because you might break it. But you can bend the legs just a little bit, okay? So you might be able to do a little more wrestling with this figure, at least doing slaps, you know, karate chops, and maybe a drop kick or something. But realistically, you're not going to be able to do a lot with this figure here. Okay, so we've got our two open there. Let's move on to this double pack right here. I'm assuming the Sable is going to be very similar, almost identical in the sense that actually the faces are a little bit different, and basically this dress is just a little bit sparklier. Sparklier, is that a word? Yeah, but here we go. Mark Mirko looks like I actually might be able to wrestle with him, or Mark Miro. I don't know why I keep calling him Mark Mirko. Again, I should probably take a picture of this back, but here I can take a screenshot of that. All right. So as you can see, the difference here, these ones are the bone crunching action. These are more for the wrestlers. So see if we can make the bone crunching action happen. I need to get back to this antique store so I can see if they have any more. And I didn't see any more in box, but they had a couple of loose figures, and I didn't know that there was bone crunching action. They looked real cheesy, like knockoff figures almost, right? So I just passed on them immediately. Bonus display base included. Unfortunately, only one, so pound sand on sticking both your guys up at the same time, if you only bought this one. Alright, or maybe we'll get two, maybe we'll get lucky. Nope, just one. So again, the base, super cool. I'm actually starting to maybe think these are looking a little bit better now that I'm opening these up. And this is another thing, you could never open this up and just assume that it's fantastic and then realize that maybe it's not as good as you thought it was, right? Okay, so here we go. Oh yeah, here we go. This guy feels much more like a wrestler. Oh yeah. We'll get to you and say he's gonna woo walking and talking. You gotta beat the man if you wanna be the man, right? Anyway, that's not Ric Flair, but he was just chucking and jiving like I thought. So yeah, okay. So basically same thing with Sable. Very identical to the other Sable. Not sure why they would print two Sables. Again, the faces are slightly different. The hands are pretty much identical. But yeah, just to get you an idea of the difference in figures. So this is a modern Elite. This is a Roman Reigns Elite figure. Yeah, they're bigger. Okay, he's bigger, but he just has so many more posable. It's just so much more detail. the clothes, just everything about these new wrestlers comes with this cool belt. But that's not to say that this isn't also a fun, unique figure to have in your collection. And as I said, you can't do a lot wrestling-wise with these, but you know, you could definitely have them do the ring entrance stuff. You could have them on the side as the manager. You could have them come out, you know, staged at the top of the stage. Definitely things you could do with these that you maybe couldn't do with some of the other ones, because these, a lot of the wrestlers you get aren't, you know, they're more geared to be wrestling versus doing other things. So there are more expensive figures that you can get that have interchangeable stuff, but for a basic figure, I would say if you find these, grab them just for the base plates alone. But let's see if Roman Reigns stands up on these. As long as I've played with toys, these pegs have been universal. So let's see if that's still the case. Yep. Oh, maybe not. Oh yeah. Universal. Boom. Okay, so get out of here, Roman Reigns. Alright, so let's take a look. Let's get Sable up on here, and let's take a look at this wrestler. Maybe we can have a little wrestling match right here, right now, for the strap. Roman Reigns versus Mark Miro. Let's see what happens. Okay, but again, I'll give you an example as to why those plates are really cool, because it's actually kind of hard to get these guys to stand up, especially when they have plates and then you bump the table at all and they fall over. So that's more or less why I'm using those plates. It'll make you be able to do some different stuff. But in terms of figures, for this being a guy you can use for wrestling, he can move his legs. Okay, we've got sideways, basically just up and down movement. You might be able to crank it over a little bit. I don't know if I'd recommend it. You can twist the torso, which is always good for pins and flying burritos. Right? You can move the arms. No lateral movement here, and he's kind of rubbery, which versus kind of the new figures here, they're a lot more hard plastic, which I like. But the rubber can be useful as well, especially in terms of just kind of, oh no, you know, if you drop it, break it, whatever, accidentally turn the hand the wrong way, it snaps in half. You're going to get a little more stability out of that. The figure's actually a lot better now that I've opened him up. I can see myself using some stuff here. So it says Wildman Mark Miro on his tights, or his undies, his briefs, his trunks, if you'll call them that. I got some decent detail on the wrist guards and the elbow pads. Well, just basic elbow pads, but we have the arm pad here. The hair is pretty good. We can't turn the head, but that face, this guy's face, I almost didn't want to get this because his face is so crazy. Like, I don't know, it kind of freaks me out. It reminds me of a clown or a Joker or something. I don't know. I don't remember this guy from wrestling, so I don't know if this is accurate to him as a wrestler or not. But here we go. Ding ding, let's get this match started. Okay, so yeah, he's definitely a little more rubbery too. When he stands, you can kind of spring him and do some different stuff. So in terms of collectability versus playability, that's a whole nother discussion we could have with every line of toy, going from when they started making them in, I want to say, the 80s, back when we used to collect them, or well, not collect them, but play with them as kids, as youth, versus the ones that we have now today. It's just a night and day difference, you guys. I mean, just night and day difference. Not just even the size, but just the overall scope and scale of what you're getting. I want to say these toys back then were probably around the same price. For that double pack was probably $20, as much as a double pack of this here. You know, so price-wise, you're getting a lot more now, but it doesn't mean that these old toys don't have value. So guys, keep your eyes open for this kind of stuff, alright? Yeah, so here we go. I'm going to keep the belt on. These belts are super hard to punch. I'm not even going to take my belt off to fight you, Mark Miro. Let's see, lock up. So you can get him for the suplex, right? He'd be good if I had some top ropes. Do the frog splash. 1, 2, kick out, right? I'll get you, man. Let's see here. Running lariat. Right? Get him with the Superman punch, Roman. Right? Go in for the cover. 1, 2. Kick out. Yeah, you can't stop me. Mark Miro. Yeah. Alright, I don't know what his moves are, but here he goes. He's going to do this. Alright, there we go. Roll him up. Roll him up. 1, 2. Kick out. Alright, here we go. Alright, let's go. What do you want to see? You want to see a gorilla? You want to see a suplex? Here we go. Oh, I can't get him. Alright. He's going to fall away slam. Hey, you get off of there. Ah! Do another suplex. Let's see here. And then also, if you're doing, you know, it might not be bad. Like standing figure side to side might not look as good, but if you remember the Goldberg days, he would wrestle just tiny wrestlers so that he could wrestle 2 or 3 guys at a time and pick them both up and slam them and stuff. So it's beneficial, and if you do things in the right way, you might not even notice that this guy is a different figure. You know, and he's got him up like this, and then you could just do like a running power slam. Whatever you want to do, man. It's all fun. It's all good. This figure is actually a lot better and more useful than I thought he was going to be, just looking at him in the package. I'm actually really glad that I opened him up, because he's going to be super useful for so many things, and I get the extra plate. It's good to know these guys fit on the plates. Man, so cool. Oh, I can't wait. It's going to be so much fun. I get so excited. Wrestling is just, oh man, especially old wrestling. We follow wrestling now. I really like Ring of Honor, and AEW is pretty good too. It's a newer one. You know, Ring of Honor has been around a little longer, I want to say. But yeah, it's getting a little harder to follow the WWE nowadays for a few reasons. I'm out of touch with it, and just all the changes have you know, kind of lost some of my interest in some ways. It's still really cool. I do enjoy it, but I definitely enjoy the storylines of the 80s, 90s, and the early 2000s there in the Attitude Era, and a little bit after that, hardcore. We had a lot of different really awesome stuff going on with wrestling there. So for us here at Brothers Forge Gaming, that's kind of the idea of what we're trying to do with this stuff, is not only recreate old matches that we love and hold dear, that we grew up watching and enjoying, but to make some new matches using some of our favorite figures, some new figures, old figures, different figures, whatever. We're going to be messing around doing that kind of thing. So if that sounds fun to you, like I said, make sure to come on back, check us back here on Brothers Forge Gaming.